In a quaint little town nestled between rolling hills and lush forests lived a man named Daniel. Daniel had always been a dreamer, filled with hopes of starting his own business. He worked tirelessly at a small bookstore, saving every penny to one day open a cafe where people could gather, read, and share stories. For years, Daniel had his eyes on an old, charming building at the corner of Maple Street. He imagined transforming it into the perfect cafe. One day, he finally saved enough money and approached the owner, Mr. Thompson, with an offer. But to Daniel's dismay, Mr. Thompson had already promised the building to another buyer. The deal was done, and the door to Daniel's dream slammed shut. Heartbroken, Daniel felt lost and defeated. He couldn't understand why this had happened. He had worked so hard, and now his dream seemed out of reach. He spent days wandering around the town, trying to find solace in the familiar streets and friendly faces. But nothing seemed to lift his spirits. One evening, as Daniel walked through a part of town he rarely visited, he noticed an old, abandoned library. The building was covered in ivy, and the windows were dusty, but Daniel felt an inexplicable pull towards it. Curious, he peered through the window and saw rows of empty bookshelves and a grand fireplace at the far end. The place had a certain charm, despite its state of neglect. The next day, Daniel inquired about the library and learned that it had been closed for years due to lack of funding. An idea began to form in his mind. What if he could turn this forgotten library into his dream cafe? It would be a place where people could not only enjoy coffee but also reconnect with the love of reading and community. With renewed determination, Daniel approached the town council with his proposal. They were skeptical at first, but Daniel's passion and vision were contagious. After several meetings and much persuasion, the council agreed to let him lease the building at a very low cost, on the condition that he would restore it and keep the essence of the library alive. Daniel poured his heart and soul into renovating the old library. He repaired the shelves, cleaned the dusty windows, and brought in comfortable seating. He stocked the shelves with donated books and created cozy reading nooks. The grand fireplace became the centerpiece, where people could gather and share stories. Months of hard work paid off, and finally, the Book Nook Cafe opened its doors. The community was thrilled to have their beloved library back, now with the added warmth of a cafe. People from all walks of life came together to read, chat, and enjoy delicious coffee. The cafe quickly became the heart of the town. Daniel realized that losing the original building was a blessing in disguise. The closed door had led him to something even more meaningful. He had not only fulfilled his dream but also brought joy and a sense of community back to his town. Through this journey, Daniel learned a valuable lesson. When life closes one door, another one truly does open. It might not always be the door we expected, but often, it's the one that leads us to a place we were meant to be. And so, the Book Nook Cafe flourished, and Daniel's story became an inspiration to everyone who visited. It reminded them that setbacks are not the end, but rather the beginning of new and wonderful opportunities.